Prof. Xuan and future MSc students, today my group 7, will be talking about the selection of food packaging materials. My group consists of David, Dexter, and myself, Dior. Firstly, I'll be introducing the 5 most commonly used food packaging materials. Firstly, plastic. Plastic is easily customizable to fit any types of food and drinks. It also has an excellent preservation property, keeping foods fresh for a long period of time. We can keep both dry and wet foods in plastic containers, making it suitable to be used for almost every type of food. Next, metal. We often have aluminium foil at home, which we use to heat food up in the air fryer. Stainless steel thermal flasks also keep our soups warm. These prove the point that metals can withstand high temperatures and that we can store both dry and wet foods too. Glass is also another suitable food packaging material that can store both wet and dry foods. More people have been using glass packaging due to its visual appeal. It is also a highly sustainable material and also non-porous, allowing no bacteria to contaminate the food. Next, wood. Wood has natural antibacterial properties which inhibit the growth of bacteria and mold. Wood is also eco-friendly, appealing to customers who want to save the earth. However, wood can only be used to store dry foods as it will absorb moisture, altering the taste of the food. Lastly, we have paper, which is another eco-friendly material. Paper is a versatile material, which means that it can be molded just like plastic. However, paper is similar to wood as it can only store dry foods. One interesting fact about paper is that it has been used as food packaging as early as 1st century BC. I was amazed when I first found out. Now that I've talked about the basics of the 5 materials, plastic, metal, glass, wood, and paper, how do you think the choice of materials affect the quality of the food?
Before we continue, let's look at the pros and cons of these materials. Firstly, we have polymers. Polymers act as a barrier against external factors like moisture, oxidation, and even microbial attacks. This ensures that the quality and freshness of the food is preserved. Polymers are cost-effective, and they possess strong thermal and mechanical properties. We also have to pay attention to its drawbacks. Firstly, polymers in the form of plastic bottles, for example, can melt when in contact with high-temperature liquids and even food. Common polymers used in food packaging, like low-density polyethylene, can soften at around 60 to 80 degrees and eventually deform. Polymers are also not biodegradable and consume large amounts of energy when being produced in a factory. Up next, we have paper. Paper is commonly used for packaging dry foods. It comes from trees, a renewable resource, and is biodegradable. However, paper is weak as it can be easily torn and deformed. It also has weak barrier properties and is permeable, allowing moisture and oil to seep through. So more often than not, you don't want to be leaving fried foods in a paper bag for too long. Lastly, paper oxidizes, causing it to turn yellow and grow weaker. What about aluminium? Aluminium contains barrier properties that prevents foreign elements like bacterial contamination, air, and moisture from seeping through. This helps to preserve the food. Secondly, it is lightweight and malleable, meaning that it can be deformed without breaking easily. Lastly, it is 100% recyclable. However, aluminium is reactive with citrusy foods that are acidic. So remember not to leave oranges or lemons in your food trays if you don't want to contaminate the food. Secondly, aluminium comes from bauxite ore, which requires extensive mining operations. This leads to environmental impacts like deforestation, habitual destruction, and water pollution, which ultimately results in a high carbon footprint.
Glass are resistant against chemicals and suitable to preserve both dry and wet foods without affecting its shelf life. It is the most sanitized material and it is very durable against thermal heat and it does not discolor over time. It is sustainable due to less energy required to recycle glass. However, transporting this material are expensive due to its fragile state. For production, it requires extreme heat to manufacture, which also results to producing greenhouse gases, losing its purpose of reducing carbon footprints. It is dangerous due to its sharp properties when broken. It can easily cut the human skin if not handled properly. Wood is known for its wear and tear resistance and biodegradability. Moreover, it is actually non-toxic and contains no harmful additives due to its antimicrobial properties. However, it can degrade with holes on the wood, possibly causing seepages and hazards such as getting splinters directly and indirectly in contact. In summary, each material has its strengths and weaknesses that compensate with each other. The most important factors we have to consider are moisture, oxidation, and corrosion resistance, the ability to mitigate the food from foreign elements, and its environmental impact to the world. As shown in the image, most companies would prefer accessing to metal and glass as their high recyclability helps to reduce the need to replenish the food packaging. Now that you know why choice of materials does matter for food packaging, remember to not add any boiling water into a paper bag or you'll end up into the hospital.